I bought a haunted house, but the real horror was living with me. I need to get this off my chest because I don't know who else to tell. I'm 27M, and about 6 months ago, my girlfriend, Sarah, and I moved into this old Victorian house on the outskirts of town. It was a steal, practically condemned, but we saw potential. It was always our dream, she said, to fix up a piece of history. I was skeptical, but her enthusiasm was infectious, and honestly, the price was too good to pass up. The weird stuff started subtly. Doors would creak open or slam shut when there was no draft. Sometimes I'd swear I heard whispers from empty rooms, but I always blamed the old pipes or my imagination. Sarah, though, was more sensitive. Did you hear that? She'd ask, her eyes wide after a floorboard groaned upstairs when we were the only ones home. I'd laugh it off, tell her it was just the house settling or a rat in the walls. I really tried to be the rational one. But then things escalated. My tools would disappear from where I left them, only to reappear in bizarre places, my hammer in the fridge, a drill bit under my pillow. One night, a porcelain doll one Sarah had placed on a high shelf as a decorative piece was found shattered at the bottom of the stairs, its glassy eyes staring up at us. Sarah was beside herself. "We have to leave, Mark. This place is evil," she cried, genuinely terrified. I was shaken too, but I'd already sunk so much money, so much time asterisk into the renovations. I tried to reassure her, even as a cold dread started to settle in my own gut. I began to set up cheap motion-activated cameras, hoping to catch a draft or a stray animal and finally put her mind at ease. What I got instead was blurry footage of shadows moving through the living room when we were asleep, and strange light anomalies that pulsed like eyes in the darkest corners. It wasn't just my imagination anymore. I felt watched constantly, even when Sarah was beside me. The air in the house grew heavy, thick with a smell like damp earth and old, forgotten things. Last night, I decided to do a deep dive into the house's history. I'd seen an old, boarded-up cupboard in the basement that looked suspiciously like a hidden compartment. With a crowbar, I pried it open. Inside, it was musty and dark. My flashlight beam cut through the gloom, revealing a stack of old journals, dusty photographs, and a small, wooden box. My heart pounded as I opened the first journal. It was written in a flowing, elegant hand, describing strange rituals performed in the house, sacrifices, and a binding of a spirit. I flipped through the pages, growing more horrified with each entry. Then I saw it, tucked between yellowed pages, a photograph. It showed a woman standing on our asterisk porch looking directly at the camera. She looked exactly like Sarah. The same striking features, the same hair, but the photo was clearly from the early 1900s. My blood ran cold. This couldn't be a coincidence. I kept digging, frantic now. I found more photos, spanning decades. All of this woman who was identical to Sarah, always in this house, often performing what looked like parts of the rituals described in the journal. And then in the small wooden box, I found another journal. This one wasn't old and brittle. It was a modern, leather-bound diary, clearly recent, and the handwriting, a familiar cursive, was undoubtedly Sarah's. My stomach dropped. I opened it to a random page. "He's perfect," it read. "So naive, so trusting. The blood moon is next week. The binding will be complete." I frantically flipped to the most recent entry. "He's starting to suspect. Good. His fear will make the ritual all the more potent." I'm locked in the study now, pretending to be asleep, listening to her footsteps moving through the house above me. She's humming, a lullaby I've never heard before. I don't know what to do. What should I do?